This was a disgrace. This was a rigged trial by a conflicted judge who was corrupt. It's a rigged trial, a disgrace. They wouldn't give us a venue change. We were at 5% or 6% in this district, in this area. This was a rigged, disgraceful trial. The real verdict is going to be November 5th by the people. And they know what happened here, and everybody knows what happened here. You have a Soros-backed DA, and the whole thing. We didn't do a thing wrong. I'm a very innocent man, and it's okay. I'm fighting for our country. I'm fighting for our Constitution. Our whole country is being rigged right now. This was done by the Biden administration in order to wound or hurt an opponent, a political opponent, and I think it's just a disgrace.
Donald Trump has been found guilty of conspiring to silence an adult video actor days before the 2016 election and covering his tracks and business records, making him the first former U.S. president to be convicted of a crime while seeking a second term. The unanimous verdict in the Manhattan hush money case was delivered just after 5 p.m. local time on Thursday, following nearly 2 days of deliberation by the 7 men and 5 women of the jury. This criminal trial, which Trump was required to attend in person, is the first against any former U.S. president. The historic conviction marks a victory for Manhattan's Democratic District Attorney, ELPHNT Bragg, who revived the case last year after his predecessor had abandoned it. Over 5 weeks, jurors heard testimony from former prominent figures in Trump's circle, detailing a catch-and-kill scheme to suppress a story of an alleged extramarital encounter with Stormy Daniels, who had threatened to go public. Trump sat with his eyes closed as the jury foreman, an Irish-born salesman from Harlem, read the verdict to a silent courtroom lined with stern-faced court officers. Proceedings concluded shortly thereafter, with Trump shaking hands with his son Eric, who patted him on the back. Outside the courtroom, Trump condemned the rigged, disgraceful trial.
This was a rigged trial by a conflicted judge who was corrupt. It's a rigged trial, a disgrace. I'm a very innocent man, and it's okay. I'm fighting for our country. I'm fighting for our Constitution, and I think it's just a disgrace. And we'll keep fighting. We'll fight till the end, and we'll win, because our country's gone to hell. We don't have the same country anymore. We have a divided mess. The real verdict is going to be November 5th by the people.
Trump is set to be sentenced on July 11th, 4 days before the start of the Republican convention, where he is expected to be the party's nominee. Speaking after the verdict, Bragg said,
12 everyday New Yorkers, and of course, our alternates, heard testimony from 22 witnesses, including former and current employees of the defendant, media executives, book publishers, custodians of records, and others. They reviewed call logs, text messages, and emails. They heard recordings. They saw checks and invoices, bank statements, and calendar appointments. Their deliberations led them to a unanimous conclusion beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant, Donald J. Trump, is guilty of 34 counts of falsifying business records in the first degree to conceal a scheme to corrupt the 2016 election. And while this defendant may be unlike any other in American history, we arrived at this trial and ultimately today at this verdict in the same manner as every other case that comes through the courtroom doors.
The evidence demonstrated that Trump went to illegal lengths to lie repeatedly to protect himself and his campaign, he added. Bragg did not disclose whether he would seek a prison sentence. Despite extensive media coverage of the Manhattan trial, Trump leads in presidential election polls and is consistently ahead of President Joe Biden in crucial swing states. He has also managed to delay 3 other criminal cases related to alleged attempts to obstruct the 2020 election results and retain classified documents after leaving office. None of these cases are likely to go to trial before November's vote. The Manhattan District Attorney's Office overcame numerous attempts by Trump to delay the trial or disqualify testimony, ultimately calling witnesses such as former aide Hope Hicks, former tabloid publisher David Pecker, and former Trump fixer Michael Cohen, now a key adversary.
So I met with the DA's office 20 times for interviews and then 2 times for grand jury.
Why are you cooperating so fully?
Because that was the pledge that I made when I stood before Judge William H. Pauley and I said that I will cooperate. And I didn't need a 5K1 agreement. I wasn't part of any cooperation agreement. Democracy is more important than anything. And I know it sounds hokey, but my goal is to ensure that truth comes out and that truth to power is told.
Cohen, who paid $130,000 to adult entertainment star Daniels shortly before Trump won the White House, testified that he conspired with Trump to fraudulently disguise the reimbursements as payments for legal services. Prosecutors argued that this was an attempt to corrupt the election by a candidate already tarnished by the release of the Access Hollywood tape, where Trump was heard bragging about grabbing women's genitals and fearing voter backlash from an extramarital affair revelation. Trump's defense argued there was no evidence Trump knew of the alleged scheme. His lawyers discredited Cohen, a convicted perjurer and fraudster, claiming he was the human embodiment of reasonable doubt. Sentencing for Trump is scheduled for a July 11th hearing, just 4 days before he's slated to be officially nominated at the Republican National Convention. His conviction doesn't disqualify him from running for office. Additionally, as a first-time offender on charges like these, incarceration is less common. Although the charges carry a maximum of 4 years per count, probation is often the outcome. Trump's intention to appeal adds further complexity. He denounced the ruling as a disgrace outside the Manhattan courthouse and reiterated his innocence, vowing to continue the fight. His legal team has 30 days to file a notice of appeal and 6 months to submit the full appeal, initiating a protracted legal battle likely extending beyond November's election. An appeals court could potentially suspend Trump's sentence during this process. Trump referenced the upcoming election, implying the ultimate verdict lies with the people on November 5th. Apart from this case, Trump faces charges in 3 other lawsuits: 2 federal cases by special counsel Jack Smith concerning his actions to impede the transition of power and the Mar-a-Lago documents case, and a Georgia case targeting his election interference. If Trump secures re-election, it's expected his Justice Department would drop the federal cases against him. However, they lack the authority to intervene in state-level cases in New York and Georgia. Nothing in the U.S. Constitution bars a convicted felon from holding office. If re-elected, Trump would not be able to pardon himself, as that power lies with the New York governor for state charges, not federal ones. The Biden campaign, which had largely refrained from commenting on the trial, issued a statement after the verdict, saying it demonstrated that no one is above the law.
And it's okay, I'm fighting for our country, I'm fighting for our Constitution. Our whole country is being rigged right now. This was done by the Biden administration in order to wound or hurt an opponent, a political opponent. And I think it's just a disgrace. And we'll keep fighting, we'll fight till the end and we'll win. Because our country's gone to hell. We don't have the same country anymore. We have a divided mess. We're a nation in decline, serious decline. Millions and millions of people pouring into our country right now, from prisons and from mental institutions, terrorists, and they're taking over our country. We have a country that's in big trouble, but this was a rigged decision right from day one with a conflicted judge who should have never been allowed to try this case, never. And we will fight for our Constitution. This is long from over. Thank you very much.